Have you ever heard of a little person who goes by the name of Nikitia Bier? Have you ever heard of someone who goes by the name of Nikitia Bier? He is essentially the head of engineering at X right now. He is... If you ever wonder why X is a disaster right now, as it stands, I mean, fair enough, you want to purge bots, that's fine, So a lot of people periodically lose a whole bunch of followers to the point that honestly you can't even gain followers nowadays. You're stuck at where you are. You are stuck at where you are. But he's the one who has infamously said he will throttle all low-quality content. I'll show you the post he makes on it first. That's a starting point because it's very important. So what I will do, this is him doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. I'll show you. He does a lot of things that claims to be for the good of X, for the good of Twitter. But as we're going to go through step by step, his past projects which got him hired by Elon, let's just say those projects were not good. They didn't stand the test of time. Let's just say they had short spurts of success, but they crashed and burned the moment that things started to get old. Hello Kershaw fan, welcome. We're talking about... I had no expectations that I'll be making a topic like this. And I'm doing it on Twitch because, well, it's Monday, but anyway, I'm glad that a lot of you managed to make it here today. Let me just, oh my goodness. Wow, what a horrible changes he has made. What horrible changes he has made. But anyway, Paris, let's just... Where's my post? Hold on. I accidentally... There we go, back to this. So let's just read what Nikitia says. It all boils down to one, providing the best tools to create content. Where? Other than an analytics tool. 2, incentivizing the highest quality content. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that quite a bit. Okay? And 3, ranking your content so it finds its audience. We are also going to get into that. And what we're going to explore is a whole lot of lie. Well, I can't really say lie, but more like his plans didn't exactly work out the way he wanted to, or even if it did work out the way he wanted to, it shows you it's a whole load of rubbish. I don't know what he has done to the X algorithm. I have no idea what type of nonsense AI implementation he has put into the algorithm as well as the moderation system, but he is destroying this website. He is completely destroying this website. And what do I mean by this? Well, firstly, let me just I will start off with a PowerPoint. It is incredibly important that I outline to you what he claims to be doing on this website. The so-called free speech website, the so-called everyone gets to have a say website, the so-called public square website where everyone can see things. I was not really for or against this individual until he started breaking the website. Okay? He claims he wants to destroy those who, according to him, game the system. Okay? He wants to, according to him, reward high quality conversation posts. And he's doing it all via AI training algorithm or the algorithm. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. And you know what's the end result? Hello Cola, welcome to the stream. We are going to talk about a certain someone who has single-handedly destroyed. Yes, indeed we are, Cola, we indeed are. We indeed are very much so. We're talking about the person who is arguably the one who is single-handedly killing X of Twitter. Is not the right-wingers. It's not Elon Musk. Well, he has some blame in it because he hired the guy. He has some blame in it because he hired the guy. But at the end of the day, it is one guy who's turned something that still has so much potential into shit. And we're talking about Nikitia Bier. Nikitia Bier, if some of you may not know, he is this individual. Head of Product X, which in other words, he is the dictator of X. He controls everything. He controls everything while Elon Musk is busy with his own little affairs. He is, for all intents and purposes, the Prime Minister of X. If Elon Musk is the Emperor of X, he is the Prime Minister of X. And most of the time when the Emperor is away, the Prime Minister is the one who calls the shots and is usually the Prime Minister that destroys everything. And I'm going to make this into a proper post. And he has a very bad reputation, a growing bad reputation, because, like I show you here, these are his core points. He wants to destroy those who game the system. Game the system how? People who post memes, people who shit post, people who just post funny stuff that do not necessarily have all of the depth of a let's just say editorial post. You can't. Most of the time, you talk about your favorite anime, it barely gets any reach because Nikitia thinks it is low quality content. You can't talk about your favorite video game because it's low quality content. You can't share screenshots of your own custom game character because it's low quality content. Here's how he does it different from Parag Agrawal before Elon took over. In Parag, they delete your posts, they outright shadow ban you or even full on ban you from the website. Parag Agrawal does it against people who do not subscribe to his own political beliefs and agendas. What Nikitia Bier does is something equally destructive, okay? What he does, I'm going to make a direct comparison here. So we have Parag Agrawal, the old CEO of Twitter, before Elon took over. His approach to content moderation is anyone who wrong things get their post deleted or and their account banned. He's the same guy who says that he does not care about the First Amendment. Parag, the same Parag Agrawal. I want to show you the whole post. Let me see if I can find Parag again. Because it's important that you know the old leadership before you start to make a comparison with the new one, okay? It's very important. Let me close a bunch of nonsense posts for now. Thank you, 27 of you lurkers, for being here to listen to me. But anyway, let me see. Parag. Let me have a look. Parag. Here we go. Damn it, not this again. Not this again. No. There we go. He is the original CEO before Elon took over Twitter. He famously said that Twitter is not bound by the First Amendment and he prioritizes some so-called safe posts. This is the old Twitter. He's long gone now. He is history. Okay? That's the starting point. So with that out of the way, you wonder why I hated Twitter and why I still think that why I thought that Elon did a favor to Twitter? It's because of people like Parag. It's because of people like him. The pre-Elon Twitter, yes. Anyone who he rejects the First Amendment. And it shows. Before Elon took over, if you express even a single, not just right-leaning or right-wing, not just that, moderate position, your post you get shadow banned. Your post gets deleted for harassment. Last time, Twitter so-called, what was it? What was the council? Was it called? Something safety? What was something safety? Health and safety? No, not health and safety. It is Trust and Safety Council. Yes, Trust and Safety Council. They were the secret police of Twitter. So he basically, your posts get deleted, you get banned. In other words, no one sees your opinions, your views. That's Parag. Now we have Nikitia. He is not a CEO, but he behaves like one. That's the problem. She behaves like one. Basically, your post stays up. But no one sees it. So what's even the meaningful difference? What is the meaningful difference? Explain it to me. At this point, explain it to me. Is there even a meaningful difference anymore? The Luminara thing, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And just so you know, I also made a post about Luminara. And I'm sure you didn't see, Kershaw fan. I'm pretty sure you didn't see because, again, Nikitia Bier's ridiculous algorithm throttled the post. Throttled the post series. But here's the... Oh, this is really the core issue. In both scenarios, your post is screwed. You might as well have not posted anything. You might as well have not said anything. In the circumstance with the pre-Elon Twitter with Parag, you say one wrong thing, your post gets deleted and you get silenced. With Nikitia, you say one thing that he thinks, in his opinion, is not high quality enough. No one is ever going to see it. You might as well have saved your energy and not posted it. I'm going to show you, Keshafet. I'm going to show you the post I made. I'm going to show you the post I made. Because barely anyone saw it, and it's disappointing because some of you asked me about my opinion on Luminara, and I am giving my opinion on Luminara, and because you couldn't see it because the stupid algorithm decided it was not high quality enough, I get asked questions. Why didn't you look at this? 35. I said a lot of things. No one, it didn't appear on anyone's feed. No one wanted to chat, nothing. I'm going to show you. This one. This is my Luminara post. Since I'm here, and since you asked Kershaw Fed how many lurkers are here, 27 of you lurkers are here, I'm going to read it out. Because evidently no one saw it. So I'm just going to read it out. I hope those affected by this whole Luminara incident are able to recover and find their footing again. Only wishing any of you affected the best, because what happened to you was grossly unfair and honestly appalling. I saw what happened to Luminara and I have some opinions that I think should be obvious and shared by many, but for some reason is still somehow uncommon. Most VTuber agencies that spontaneously crop up promising the world for aspiring or indie VTubers are honestly just disasters in the making, in my opinion. I hope many VTubers or aspirants will do their best to always watch out for pretty words and lofty promises. I've seen way too many N1 style implosions that whenever I started a new VTuber agency that is talent first and is definitely going to go big, I shudder. I'm at this point counting the days until something or a combination of multiple things shut them down. Before I continue, if you all want to read at your own pace, I'll post it here. Alright, back to it. I think at the end of the day, people have to understand that a managerial position, especially one that involves managing multiple personalities and their careers, require a level of grounded experience, expertise, and also ultimately honesty. They need to know that you cannot fuck this up. It is your livelihood anymore. It's not your livelihood anymore at this point. Your decision affects others. If you're severely lacking in any one of this, it's a recipe for disaster, not just for yourself, but for the people who somehow trusted you to do what's best for them. The people who chose to believe in you and have faith in you, they are the biggest victims in all of this. I didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for this. You asked for them. They got burned because you thought you could take their future in your own hands recklessly and without proper planning or ethics and believe it wouldn't blow up in your face and theirs. I would hope that when another somewhat known personality says they're planning to start an agency, VTuber or otherwise, they know that it's not just some game or some adventure that they can just function off vibes. Hololive face socks are outliers, the rare cases of success, and it takes a lot of work and commitment for those who run them 24/7 to keep them stable, let alone succeed. And what did I get for it? Barely 1,000 people saw this. Barely 1,000 people saw this. What a joke. What a joke of a system this is. You know, here's the metric that Nikitia Bier provides for a high quality post. For a post to be as high quality as possible, it has to be a well thought out post with proper opinions, proper arguments, and proper takes. Having an image is good as well, but not the most important. But you have to make sure that it is something that you spend a lot of time writing and it has a lot of novel ideas. That is, according to him, a high quality post. And what happens when people post high quality stuff? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you know what? Let me see, maybe I'll give you a bit of I'll cut in a bit of slack. Maybe it's because I use a profanity. Maybe because I use profanity. Maybe. But let me have a look. Maybe it's profanity. Perhaps. Perhaps. If that's the case, fine. I'll repost it. I'll repost my take once again, Lucas. I'll repost my take once again. If you want to play this game with me, we'll play this game together. Okay? Oh yeah, I forgot to check it. Holy moly, I'm sorry. I keep... Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I'm gonna repost it again. It's old news at this point, but you know what? I'd rather more people see it than... I'd rather people say I'm late to the party than... I'd rather people say I'm late to the party than not see what I posted. Okay? Let me open Notepad so I can sort out the formatting a bit. I'm gonna open Notepad so I can sort out the formatting just a little bit. Okay, control copy. I'm going to have to repost this, and I hope that people see it the second time. Looks like you cannot mess this up. I'll just change F up to mess up. I'm gonna repost this. Since no one saw it, I might as well repost this. I don't think there's any more I don't think there's any more profanity. I don't think there's any more profanity. Well, new info keeps coming out, but Let me just make sure that everything. Let's see. Let me read it closely. What time is it now in US? Let me check. US Eastern Time now. What time is it now in US? Is it 9? Okay, which means enough Westerners are still awake. Good enough for me. Let me see, are there any more? Let's read together again, Lucas, because I feel this is, again, I do not necessarily post it because I want clout. Of course, clout is nice to have. Of course, attention is good to have as well. But the reason I'm posting this is more of a warning to people. A warning to people. For those of you, VTubers or otherwise, do not be sold on flowery words, lofty promises, and sweet nothings from a so-called agency CEO. Know exactly what you are getting yourselves into. And for those who want to open a VTuber agency or any agency whatsoever, you also know exactly what you're getting yourself into. That is my point. That is why I want people to read what I say. Okay, let me read it together. Let's read it again. I hope those affected by this whole Luminara incident are able to recover and find their footing again. Only wishing any of you affected the best, because what happened to you was grossly unfair and honestly appalling. I saw what happened to Luminara and I have some opinions that I think should be obvious and shared by many, but for some reason still somehow uncommon. Most VTuber agencies that spontaneously crop up promising the world for aspiring or indie VTubers are honestly just disasters in the making, in my opinion. I hope many VTubers or aspirings will do their best to always watch out for pretty words and lofty promises. I have seen way too many Enron-style implosions that whenever I started a new VTuber agency that is talent first and is definitely going to go big, I shudder. I'm at this point counting the days until something or a combination of multiple things shut them down. I think at the end of the day, people have to understand that a managerial position, especially one that involves managing multiple personalities and their careers, require a level of grounded experience, expertise, and ultimately honesty. You know what, Lucas? I noticed something. Everything that I'm saying here also applies to Nikitia Bier. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why. They need to know that you cannot mess this up. Wait, that's... They need to know that you cannot. You need to know that you cannot mess this up. You need to know that you cannot mess this up. It's not your livelihood anymore at this point. Your decisions affect others. If you're severely lacking in any one of these, it's the recipe for disaster, not just for yourself, but for the people who somehow trusted you to do what's best for them. The people who chose to believe in you and have faith in you, they are the biggest victims in all of this. They didn't ask for this. You asked for them. I want to make this extremely clear. How do I bold this? Hold on. There we go. They didn't ask for this. You asked for them. They got burned because you thought you could take their future in your own hands recklessly and without proper planning or ethics and believe it wouldn't blow up in your face at theirs. I would hope that when another somewhat known personality says they're planning to start an agency, VTuber or otherwise, they know that it's not just some game or some adventure that can just function off vibes. Hololive, Face, or Socks are the outliers, the rare cases of success, and it takes a lot of work and commitment from those who run them 24/7 to keep them stable, let alone succeed. Okay, that's good enough. No profanity. I don't know if this post is gonna get traction, or is this clown going to throttle it again because what? I make multiple posts in the span of 2 hours. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Nikita Bier. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But as Chan said, which I can attest to, because allegedly that's, well, Nikita says that this is allegedly how it works. A like is only 1 point, a bookmark is a lot of points, a reply is a lot of points. So it's kind of like the YouTube thing again. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell button. All that nonsense all over again. Alright. Let's get back to this. It is important. It is important. Back to the... What was that guy's name? What's his name? Let's get back to the presentation. Let's go back to the presentation. Back to here. Oh, no, wrong. Back to here, yes. Your post stays some and no one sees it. Honestly, at this point, what even is the point of making those posts already? It's... Look at Chan, I can't do that. I can't do that. Oh my god. How? How am I gonna do that? Alright, but either way, there are a bunch of things. I'm gonna go through this post because I think it is extremely important. So, I know some of you don't like Grums, and my life for Grums is really like... I still remember what happened to Firefall. And Grums hasn't produced Ember at all. He hasn't really developed Ember at all, and I'm still very upset over it. But he made a good point. He made a very important point. This is a direct response to his obsession. This is the direct to his obsession with high quality posts. So Grums replied to Nikita's high quality post obsession. I can't really stand X right now. Me too. I hate being penalized for posting more. Definitely. I post in bursts when I have time. That's how I do it as well. But if you do that, the algorithm deboosts your subsequent posts. Correct. I have seen it multiple times to know that it works that way. This is so anti-fun, anti-creative, and I absolutely hate being separated from my followers because I like to talk. Yes, I don't care. Okay, here's the thing. I do not care as much that my post goes to people who don't even know I exist. Okay, I don't care as much. Just make sure my posts go to my followers and I'm happy. But of course he won't do that. He won't do that. He's a D-tweeter. Interesting. Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. But he will not do that. Nikita will not do that. He's upset that you're making multiple successful posts in a quick succession, so he has to nerf you. Like Arrowhead nerfs weapons in Helldivers too. He has to nerf you. He has to nerf you. I'm growing faster than ever, low. 20.1. He's been stuck at 20 for a while. Growing faster than ever. Anyway, let's get back to this point. Okay, so right now, I have collected, I've done a bit of research. Well, not really research. I've done a little bit of empirical study. A bit of empirical study. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. Let me take you back to the PowerPoint. I've conducted a little bit of empirical study. So, how does Nikita's algo work? Okay? Here are a few key points. As a baseline, your high quality. What is high quality? Mostly novel ideas, sparks conversation, novel ideas, sparks conversation, high effort, usually long form, thought out posts, or an attached media, usually video. Usually a video you made. Okay? That is the baseline. That is the baseline. I'm sure also one more thing. Also creates a positive feedback loop. So how does that? So what exactly are those characteristics of a high quality post? What would, according to Nikita, what would the algorithm reward? Okay? What are some of the things that have to happen to the post itself before the algorithm says, okay, I will give your post more attention? Here are a few things. Hello, Luna Sword, welcome. Firstly, let's start with the low ones. Let's start with a bunch of... Let's use a point system, okay? A point system. Let's, for argument's sake, use a point system. So let's, like look at something. 1 point is for like. 1 point is 1 point. 1 like equals 1 point. 1 bookmark equals 30 points. But here's the thing. 1 reply is also roughly 30 to 50 points. So the more replies, the more your post spreads. But here's the problem. Lucas. Here's the very big problem. Are you seeing a big problem now, Lucas? I want to go to these 2 very important words, okay? Replies are important and positive feedback loop or positivity for short. Do you notice the problem with this, lurkers? Do you notice? I'm sure you all, some of you might already notice, but you notice the problem with this. These 2, let me open a new slide. Do you notice a problem with these two factors? Do you notice these 2 factors, positivity and replies? From your understanding using Twitter and Twitter and X from your understanding using Twitter or X, what do you think? Do you think these 2 these two things, do you think there's a problem with these two existing together? Do you think there's a problem with these two existing together? I'm going to give you one key. Give me a one-word answer. Give me a one-word answer, just one word. As a guess, just a guess. No, not even more fundamental than that. Even more fundamental than that. This thing exists. This thing exists. One big problem. The existence of a ratio by its implication means that you're trying to have a post that has a positive feedback loop but has a lot of replies. They become almost mutually exclusive. We know. I'm sure most of us have been on X or Twitter long enough to understand. If a post has a lot of replies, it usually means it's filled with negativity, or it has a negative feedback loop. If a post has barely any replies but has a lot of likes, it means that post has a positive feedback loop. So already, Nikitia Bier does not understand what he is asking for. He does not understand. He does not understand that ratio exists, and ratios will never stop existing. So what? How are you going to fix this, Nikitia? How are you going to fix this fundamental problem? How? How will you do though? How will you do that? Because this is one big problem. It's already a contradiction. You can't promote posts that you can't prioritize promoting posts that are positive and generate positivity and positive conversations, and then demand that replies are more important than likes. It just will not work that way. If someone does not like a post, the replies will definitely outweigh the likes by great margins. But according to you, Nikitia, that is a high quality post. In other words, you're implying that rage baiting is a high quality post. Is that what you're trying to say? So again, I do not understand the logic you are using. I do not. I really do not. Your criteria does not make sense. Don't be so shocked in the future, in the near future, or even in the matter of weeks or days, or even right now. Users on your website that you are running on behalf of Elon Musk, all they ever do is post rage bait, because rage bait is the only thing that generates traction. Your system is broken. And speaking of which, I'm going to write some dot points. Because I think I'm going to keep all of this. I'm going to write this as an article, probably. I'm just keeping it dot points first. Dot point format first, okay? High quality post. Gotta post this web content. High quality posts. Positivity. Positive. Feedback. Loop. Who followed? Blue Dragon, thank you for the follow. Positive feedback loop. Replies are most important. And then it's bookmarks. Then reshares. Then likes. This is going to be my notepad because I'm going to make two things. I'm going to make it in an article format, and I'm also going to make it in a post format. I want as many people to know the type of manager Nikitia Bier is. I didn't start off disliking this Nikitia Bier. I gave him a fair shake. He became the head of product at X. Go ahead. Mr. Pleasure Bear, did I ever did that Chinese history stream I mentioned? No. I am going to tell you why I say no. I originally planned it for the second week of May. Here was the problem. Mixtape happened and I had to make the Gamergate stream. The next thing is quartering happened. No, not quartering. Yeah, quartering. No, first thing was the quartering happened because he was false flagging a whole bunch of YouTube channels and I cannot keep quiet about that. Second, mixtape happened and I had to talk about Gamergate. And then third thing happened. What was the last week? What was I talking about? Last week, I was talking about Gacha Kuta. Yes, Gacha Kuta. Tourists and invaders. So yeah, I haven't done the Chinese stream yet. Too much craziness everywhere indeed. You're correct, PhD. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this post. I'm just keeping some dot points in before I write the article. It's gonna take me a while to write this article, but I hope by the time I post it, Mr. Big Fat Clown Nikitia Bier will not throttle it. And if they do throttle it, I would kindly hope that some of you lookers who do see it, leave a comment and bookmark it. Well, do whatever you can. I hope you can at least. If you like what you see, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. But try and leave a comment. Maybe if you agree with something, just say you agree with something. If you disagree with something, just say you disagree with something and here's why you disagree. Bookmark it if you can, if you want to. PhD, you have a good night too. Okay, this is for later. I saved the draft that this is for later. Luminara's discourse is way more important, Kirshafed. It is way more important. And I expressed my points very clearly. Very, very clearly. Again, Lucas, if you want my take on the Luminara situation, and At this point, I have to have a bit more thick skin, lurkers. Here's the thing. I will have thick skin and I will do plugs for my account, for my posts, only if I feel that the topic itself is important. I will not do plugs on my own post if it's like sharing memes, sharing a video, sharing a screenshot of a game I'm playing, but if it's about a serious matter such as no VTubers should ever fall victim to false promises made by so-called agencies run by people with no experience in managing a business. Don't worry, Kasha fan, I know I'm correct. I know you're correct, but I am just reiterating that I agree with you. Okay? This is my post on the... let's keep this up for 5 minutes. 5 minutes will be good. 5 minutes. But anyway, before we continue on with the worst part of Nikitia Bier, I'm ready to accept some questions, okay? So I'm going to take a short break, maybe 2 or 3 minutes break. And by the time I'm out, if you all have any questions, whether it's about YouTubers, whether it's about Luminara, or whether it's about X and their algorithms, I am ready to take questions. I'll answer it if I can. But I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back with you in maybe a few minutes, give or take, okay? I'll see you later. What's the discussion right now? Still talking about Luminara, I see. Luminara is such a shit show, honestly. I'm having my breakfast, Lucas, so don't mind me a bit. I'm eating some biscuit. Luminara is horrible. And I fear that not enough of VTubers will understand the message, the moral of the story. I fear a lot, because here's what I'm seeing a lot on Luminara, okay? There's a lot of people who understandably are taking the emotional approach to talking about this situation, such as all these individuals, our heart goes out to them, rightfully so. They basically lost a lot because of this. They got dragged into a lot of nonsense because of this. But again, here's the thing. It's one thing to express sympathy, it's one thing to express support and solidarity. It's another thing to give proper constructive feedback so that they will never repeat the same mistake again. Luminara is an agency. Yes, it is. It is. And funnily enough, when I looked at Luminara a few days ago, they still had their website on. People do not understand that this is a bigger problem. It's fine to be sympathetic. It's fine to say I'm in solidarity with you. I'm supporting you. I'm behind you all the way with this. You are the victim. You have been wronged, and the person who did it was wrong. It's fine to say that, but on the other hand, there's also one thing that you must say. You should not ever fall for this. You should not ever fall for this. Don't fall for this. Think. You see someone promising you the world, whether it's VTubing, streaming, or anything else. You sit down and you think. That's what you should be doing. You sit down and you think. Use that grey matter of yours and think. Is it too good to be true? Because if it seems like it, it usually is. The person who is running this agency, he's not your father. He's not your brother. He's not your son. It's not family. He's not even your close friend. You don't even know him. So how are you going to conceivably accept the fact that... How are you going to conceivably buy into a lie that says he's got your back? We are talent first. I promise you the world. You get 100% of your profits. How do you believe that? How can you believe that? Again, this post I made. This one. I'm gonna pin it again. Maybe I'll pin it for 20 minutes this time. This post I made. Honestly, at that point, you might as well just stay an indie. At least, you get to be the pilot of your own ship. You get to be the captain of your own ship, sorry. You get to be the captain of your own ship. You get to be your own boss. You get to choose how, you get to decide how successful or unsuccessful you are. At least, at that point in time, you have yourself to thank or to blame. I do not know how people still fall for this part. Pretty words and lofty promises. It happened multiple times. It happened with V Shoujo. It happened with Wetter. It happened with the other one from the Philippines that was run by a Filipino guy. I can't remember that he's I cannot remember that agency that he was talking about. This is not the first time it's happening. And even if it was the first time it was happening, you have other examples from other industries giving you all the warning flags, all the warning signs. Look at, like I say, Enron. Enron was a big example. Look even further. What was his name? What was that guy's name? What was the guy's name? Let me look up. Hold on, pause for a moment. Let me look up this guy's name. I'm trying to see. Lou Pearlman. Yes, Lou Pearlman. Lou Pearlman. Look at Lou Pearlman. The boy band producer promised the world. Look what happened to him. One big fraud. Also, one big fraud. They were all one big fraud. We had so many examples. Beach Sojo didn't need to happen for people to get a grip, to get a clue. Luminara didn't have to happen for VTubers to get a clue. Look at Backstreet Boys. Look at Enron. Look at Goldman Sachs. Look at the global financial crisis of 2008. The prettiest words. Oh, you generate so much profits. You generate so much profit, so much return on your investment. It is a blue chip investment. Come on, join my agency. We are talent first. You get to own it. You get to keep everything you make. You get to keep everything you make. Because at the end of the day, this is one important thing. This is one important thing that you all have to understand. Okay? This is irrelevant. We'll get back to Nikitia Bier later, but everything is still related. It's still related. Ask questions. It should be that easy. It should be that easy. Hello, Zanart, welcome. It should be that easy. I don't know why this is so hard for so many people to understand. Strangers are called strangers for a reason. Acquaintances are not necessarily your friends. And even if they're friends, even if you are friends with them, are you close enough with them that they will unconditionally give you benefits for nothing in return? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Can you read their mind? Can you read their mind? Do you know for a fact that they're doing this out of the kindness of their heart? Do you? If you know them long enough and you know that they are naturally kind of way, good, great, excellent. But this is not the case, is it? Luminara is not the case. Rishoujo is not the case. They promise you all these things. There is something beneath those agreements that they want in return. Obviously. And again, do you know who is actually another victim of this? Funnily enough, who is another victim of this? Elon Musk. Elon Musk is another victim of this. This was Nikitia Bier's original pitch to Elon Musk. To hire him as the head of X, basically. The dictator of X. The prime minister of X. And this is his pitch. Elon Musk hired me to run as VP of product. I've been building social apps for 11 years, and not in a way that leads products to decay like the typical big tech product director that Twitter has the potential to be the leading messenger group apps and content creation tool. Here is the thing. I dug into Nikitia Bier's past career, his profession, what he has done in the past. He's talking about 11 years of building social apps. We're going to talk about his social apps, okay? We're going to talk about his social apps right about before that. Do you understand exactly what Nikitia Bier has done to X so far? Do all of you like us who have been on X or who uses X often enough, do you all know exactly what Nikitia Bier has been doing to X? All around. You have an idea, right? And Hisine, that is one of the so-called low-quality content that Nikitia Bier is flagging. But okay. Basically, I'm sure some of you are very confused with the type of behavior Nikitia Bier demonstrates. And suffice to say, I am as well. Until I found out. And what have I found out? Okay. Let me tell you two apps. I'm going to locate them right now. Let's see, let me close some tabs first before I get to this. Let me close some tabs first. TBH app. And this app. All right, here we. These two apps, okay? Nikitia Bier's repertoire for 11 years. The reason he can brag about this, the reason he bragged in this post is two apps. Both of these apps are near identical to one another. Okay? The first app he made was something called TBH. It was a somewhat popular app that she developed for Have you ever heard of this app? Have any of you heard of this app at all, Lucas? Have any of you heard of this app at all? Nope? Now here's the problem, isn't it? Contra. AF could say, nope. That's a problem. Zero, nope, nope, nope. That's a problem, isn't it? That's a problem, isn't it? Nikitia Bier's first app was called TBH. It is an anonymous, quote-unquote, social media app that was available for a couple of years in US, and it was specifically for high school students. No one else. And here's the thing. You have a look at the way this app runs, but you can take my word for it, but I really did some research. The whole idea of this app is that it is, as you can see with the description, it is the only anonymous app with positive vibes. In other words, it is a toxic positivity app. Long story short, you're not allowed to criticize anything. You're not allowed to talk trash about anything. The algorithm within that app is so hyper-focused on anything that's positive, anything that the app deems is viral, and that's all it does. It has a very hyper-focused, hyper-specific type of algorithm that only rewards one specific type of content. Positive vibes. And the app only caters for one specific type of demographic. High school students. So you tell me, does this look X? Let's look X. Let's look at Twitter. Tell me, can Nikitia Bier's approach to Twitter be the same as his approach to TBH? Can you tell? What do you think? Are most users on Twitter high school students, or are they fully grown adults with their own careers, their own interests, their own obsessions, their own everything? You have weeps, you have sports fans, you have gamers, you have streamers, you have YouTubers, most of them or all of them adults. So already we have a problem. We already have a very serious problem. Berker-chan, we are diving into the history of Nikita Bier's. We'll go back to this post. He bragged about 11 years of experience when he first made the request to work with X under Elon Musk. And he used 11 years of experience, and we are investigating his 11 years of successful experience, so he says, okay? And he let me down, and now I'm sharing it with you all, a rabbit hole of his past projects. His first project is called TBH. It is a very hyper-focused, it's less social media and more like it's technically social media, but it is very hyper-focused. It is a social media that only has one demographic, high school students, and it only peddles in one specific type of content, positive vibes. Its algorithm is very, very honed in on these two key concepts: high school students and positive vibes. So, tell me, Lurker-chan, if you only have, well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Never mind. To be fair to Nikita Bier, this app was somewhat successful. They were like at his peak was like over 1 million users, give or take. That's not a lot, isn't it? That's not a lot, isn't it? It's not a lot. When you're talking about social media, that's not a lot. But for some reason, it was deemed successful enough that Facebook bought it from him. Facebook, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg bought TBH from Nikita Bier. Bought the app from Nikita Bier. Yes, the same Facebook. Lurker-chan, I'm going to have a field day writing this article on X of all places. I'm going to have a big field day talking about Nikita Bier. He can ban me, he can throttle my posts all he wants, but what I'm going to be reporting are what he has actually done. So look forward to it, Lurkers. I hope you will see it, because I know Nikita would throttle every single post I make, everyone makes for that matter, without mercy, but I hope you see it. But anyway, like I say, Facebook bought it. And guess what? In a couple of years, in just a couple of years, actually a couple of months, if I recall, it was a couple of months, maybe at most a year, the app shut down. Facebook deemed it a waste of money to maintain. This is Nikita Bier's first legacy. An app that was kind of okay for a year or two, and it ran out of steam and it died. It died and rotted away and faded away, and no one remembers it. That was his first legacy. There are two apps. There are two apps. We talk about his first one. That's the second one on his shining jewel of a resume. The other app is called Gas. And what it is it's basically TBH, but with a different name. It literally does the exact same thing. Cater to high school students, positive vibes only. And the algorithm reflects all of that. That's it, nothing else. Again, the same thing happened to gas, the same way it happened to TBH. There are a whole, allegedly, had over 1 million high school students using the app. And this time, Discord bought it. This one was Discord that bought the gas app from Nikitia Bier. And would you like to guess what happened to this app? Would you like to guess? Lurkers, would you like to just make a quick guess? What happened to the gas app? Would you like to just make a quick guess? Any more guesses? Discord shut it down in 9 months. This is your legacy. This is your legacy, Nikitia Bier. This is your legacy. This is your... I've been building social apps for 11 years. My product will not decay. And look at this. Rotted away. Living only bones. Rotted away. Living only bones. This is the type... This man now runs X. He is the one running X right now. He is the one who is telling you to post high quality posts. She is the one telling you to post high quality posts as he posts trash like this on his own account. Oh, have a look at that. Have a look at that, lurkers. He seems to be immune to the algorithm. Look at that. Oh, don't you dare post AI slop now. Don't you dare post AI slop right now on your account. I'm going to throttle your account. But what about your account, Mr. Nikitia Bier? You post AI slop almost every day. He has the guts. He has the audacity to talk about high quality content. What has your high quality content done for you? Huh? Your first app shut down, being put down at the back of the barn by Facebook. Your second app shut down, being euthanized by Discord in mere months. Who are you to determine with this track record what is high quality content and what is not high quality content? You fraud. I didn't want to dig into this. Make no mistake, I did not want to dig into this. But he, Nikitia Bier, You are directly sabotaging my ability to communicate with my followers. I am not gonna take that lying down. I have done nothing to offend you. My posts have always been on my own lane. I post information that I find important with enough effort. And you just don't care. And he has not fixed the botted likes, by the way. Control, you're correct. He has not fixed the botted likes. He has not fixed the botted likes. Everything Nikitia does is bad so far. He was the one who removed public likes. He was the one who started the bot purge, which ended up purging a lot of real people. And of course, he is the one who basically crippled everyone's ability to gain followers. Not just me. I'm seeing accounts everywhere. Madam Savvy, Banana, Juju. Who else? Stuttering Craig. Even Kirsha. Smagalana. Their followers all stagnated because of their constant bot purge. Many of them even dropped followers. Not just me. But for some reason, the bots are still around. By large numbers, they're still around. You still have those 500 or 600 follower so-called anime fan accounts who enter anime in 2020, making the dumbest hot takes, talking about harassing people over art, talking about harassing people over character designs, talking about harassing people over shipping, and they still get like 50,000 likes from bots, while every single comment in their post is just throwing shade at them and criticizing them and laughing at them and making fun of them. That's still happening. So this whole thing is a sham. You are a sham in my opinion, Nikitia Bier. Your apps were failures. Your apps are about as successful as mixtape is successful. TBH and Guest are the mixtapes of social media apps. And I do not regret saying that. If you weren't causing such a trash fire on X right now, destroying everyone's reach, no matter how high quality, how well researched, or how high effort their post may be, I would not have cared about you. I would not have betted an eye on you if you knew how to run the website properly and make sure the algorithm actually gives people what they want to see. I wouldn't care about you. But again, that's not the case now, is it? These people everywhere. If Twitter falls, all we have left is Zuck and Facebook. If Twitter falls, that's all we have. And honestly, if you're talking about raw numbers, raw discussion, honest discussion. Who am I more likely to distrust more? I would distrust Mark Zuckerberg more than I distrust Elon Musk. But what can I say? Elon Musk hired the worst possible person to do the job. At some point, YouTube and Twitch are probably going to be my social media apps. Instead of making posts all day, I probably just stream and talk about my daily gripes all day. Yes, Situ Satro, we know. Nikita Bier is, for all intents and purposes, the dictator of Twitter. So the only way to get Elon Musk to intervene is if enough people annoy Elon Musk about it. He has to start noticing it. It needs to be unified. The protest has to be unified, and it has to be loud enough. Otherwise, we have an inept, incompetent clown like Nikitia Bier running X. It's just going to destroy the website, and Elon Musk is going to pretend to be so shocked and upset. Why did the app fail? And we'll just say, because you hired Nikitia Bier, you fool. I know, Elon, you should have just run Twitter by yourself. You should have just overseen the algorithms by yourself. I know you're busy, but you should have done that. If you cared enough about this website, you should have done that. Nikitia ran that site in the past too. That's interesting. Let me have a look. That is interesting too. That is an interesting tidbit of information. That is interesting. Let me have a look. I'm doing a bit of... So he did work as a product manager at Meta, aka Facebook, around 2017 to 2018. This was around the time he sold TBH to Meta, to Mark Zuckerberg. He was at most a mid to senior level product manager. And he left around 2021. So, you're kind of right. He didn't run the site, but he definitely had a lot of influence on the site. He was a mid to senior level employee at Facebook, which is, we can't say that he has no power, but he definitely is not the person running the site. But it's worth noting, let me put that in the article, hold on. Let me put that in the article. Let me put that in my article. Let me put that in the article. Well, he worked as a mid to high level manager on Facebook around 2017 to 2018. prior to 2021. Interesting. No, 2018 to 2021. Around the time he sold TBH. Alright, that's important information to add to consideration. That's important information. Thank you for that, C2. Oh yeah, first time chatter as well, C2. Thank you for joining in and having a chat. You have given very important information, more important information, and building up an article and just getting some key information to just compile them so that I can write the article properly. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about this clown. A lot to say. And there's one thing that I've kept noticing really is that Nikitia Bier does not have any semblance of Nikitia Bier just does not have any semblance of humility. He does not have any semblance of humility or humbleness. He thinks every single one of us, you know what he does? He accuses every single person of criticizing his changes to X algorithm as, you know what? People gaming the system. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Just like how Anita Sarkeesian calls everyone who attacks her a right-winger. Just like how John Del Arroz, the Rice Man, calls everyone who criticizes him a woke leftist. Nikitia Bier does the same thing. Everyone who criticizes him are scammers or people who game the system and they're upset. That's according to him. This is an article that I found also online. This is an article I found online about TBH specifically. TBH doing things that don't scale. That's a really big warning point. That is a very, very big warning point. There's a big red flag. The reason TBH was successful was because of how small it is. How hyper-specific it is. What made TBH approach so effective was its focus on doing things that do not scale. Creating individual Instagram accounts for each high school, researching student profile and timing releases to coincide school dismissal times are all labor-intensive activities that couldn't possibly be maintained as the app grew to millions of users. Read your own feedback, Nikitia. What website are you running right now? You are running Twitter. If there's one thing you can call Twitter, is that it is a damn big website with almost billions of users. How can you how are you not a little bit out of your depth here right now, Nikitia? Are you not out of your depth? Are you not going in this blind? Your experience means nothing. Let's use a restaurant analogy. It's like asking a burger flipper to do fine dining. That is Nikitia Bier. Or in reverse, it's like asking a fine dining chef to cook at scale fast food. He's out of his depth. This clown is out of his depth. This clown is definitely out of his depth. It's not even a question. It failed. It failed. At the end of the day, it failed. It failed. Your test failed. Your proof of concept failed. It couldn't last. Now barely anyone knows about your apps, you idiot. Now we know why Facebook does the things they do and ban people. So Lucas, I think in terms of pure yapping, pure talking, I have expressed what I wanted to say about Nikitia Bier. After doing this digging, after doing this research, after finding out about his 2 past apps, I can say with a level of certainty that Elon hiring this guy was 100% a mistake. It was 100% a mistake. It's not even uncertain anymore. It's not vague. It's not up for debate. It's not up in the air. It's not a matter of opinion. I think objectively it has been nothing but disastrous for those who used apps or Twitter. This individual that's good to know, Kershaw friend. That's good to know. This individual, he is going to kill X. He's going to kill Twitter. If Elon Musk even remotely cares about this website in any way, shape, or form, he will fire him. And since I'm in the mood to type, I'm going to write some things which I can comfortably write for now. Or write some things that I can comfortably write for now. Let's just write a little bit of my article. I'm gonna post this in 2 formats. I'm gonna post it as an article, and I'm gonna post it as a long form post. So Nikitia, you want high quality post? I'm gonna give you a high quality post right now. It may not be the high quality post that you want to read, but I'm going to make sure it's a high quality post. So get prepared for that. Oh boy, we're having to. Not this again. Jelly's making fun of that month again, huh? Okay. What size do I have to use? What size do I have to use? Stop hitting. Basically mocking the empty performance. It is performative. Here's the thing that a lot of people, a lot of activists have to understand, especially those who try to push the whole identity-based activism. If you're gay, if you are a lesbian, you're bisexual, or you're transgender, just live your life. Literally, just live your life. You say over and over and over again. You say over and over again. We just want a right to exist. We just want to exist. We just want to live our life. Okay, live it. Continue to exist. Live it. You are there, live it. You still get hired for jobs? Do the jobs. You get served food at a restaurant? Eat your food. You get to talk to other people who talks to you like a regular person. You talk to them. Shitu Saro, what did you just say? Hold on. This is so broken, Situ Satro. This is completely broken. This is a completely broken system. A very broken system.
What were they thinking?
What the hell were they thinking?
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
I don't know what they were thinking.
What were they thinking? What were they thinking? What the fuck were they fucking thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? What the fuck were they thinking?
What kind of crack were they smoking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
I couldn't even imagine what they were thinking.
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? I can only imagine what they were thinking. What were they fucking thinking? What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking when they came up with this?
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What was I thinking?
What were they thinking?
What was I thinking? What were they thinking with this shitload of fuck? What were they thinking? What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? What were they thinking? What were they thinking? But what were they thinking? What were they thinking? What were they thinking? What were they thinking? What were you thinking? What art thou thinking? What were they thinking? What were they fucking thinking? What was Color Dreams thinking? What were they thinking?
Indeed. What the hell were they thinking? What was Nikita Bier thinking? What the hell were they thinking? I don't know. What the hell were they thinking? I don't get this. How? What even is the point? What even is the point? Here's how it works. Here's how it works. If you impose a cooldown and your reach plummets after a specific amount of posts, some people will just get put off by using X anymore. So what if you have a novel idea? So what if you just spontaneously made a meme? Then you're gonna post it on Facebook again. They're just gonna do it. They're just gonna post it on Facebook all over again. Heck, then even post it back on Tumblr all over again. Not X. What was Nikita Bier thinking? Jeez, what was he thinking? C2 Satro, let's see. What? Oh. I do not understand. I'm going to continue writing this article. Let's see if I... Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can minimize the screen. Let's see. Facebook. If I minimize the screen... No. Okay. Does it affect people? Nope. It's fine. Alright. Because you have to rely on this way for now. Let me check whether any words has been... No. There's nothing that's auto-modded. I don't see anything that's auto-modded right now. Forgot about bin too. Let's be fair here, a lot of us would like to forget about Bint. A lot of us would like to forget about Bint. At least he's not gonna be having a good time. At least if there's one person... Oh shoot, sorry. There's one thing Nikita Bier did well. Bin gets auto-mod, I don't know. Alright, let's start simple. Even his name cousin's a nuisance. 1 out of 10 thinks she has done good. At least Bint also. Automat based. Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. That's thought simple. Nikitia goes on and on about how he only wants the highest quality posts that are free from aggregated that are not aggregations, gaming. What else? What else does he usually call? Or cheap engagement. And the factors he has provided to feed into his little pet algorithm is let's see. Replies, lots of from highest priority to lowest are replies bookmarks, shares, and finding likes. You know, I wonder if N-Bin spends his days seething that he failed to cancel Kershaw, Jelly, and whoever else he's tried to cancel Shiri Novella to way back then. You know what I kind of am quite miffed about? People are starting to forget Kenny Sue's involvement in N-Bin Tip's little harassment campaign. People are starting to forget him. Oh, he was part of N-Bin Tip's inner circle. He supports him so frequently. He's the VIP in his streams, everything. And people just forget. Pose, shoot, and that pose. It's a quality pose. Enough, Zephyr, please don't do that. Enough, don't do that. Wispy Jet, you don't remember Bint? Well, I guess it's a good thing that you don't remember Bint. He is not a person worth remembering. To me, he's not a person worth remembering. But apparently the... By the way, where are you? Situ Satro. Apparently, your reach cooldown, quote unquote, cooldown, it takes anywhere from 48 hours to 72 hours, 2 to 3 days, before you get back your proper post reach. It's not just one day. If anything, Nikitia Bier is punishing the most loyal users of X. Is a problem is not realized or I would say pretends to not realize. Ratios exist. Nikitia should have known for years at this point. If a post has much more replies than it does likes or reposts, it usually means it is a negativity filled hot take or rage bait, where most, if not all, of the flood of comments are blatantly hostile, antagonistic, or just plain critical. Hello Paunia, welcome to the stream. So Nikitia, so in the case of X, you can't exactly having posts have high comments to like ratios be positive in vibe and conversation. You should have known. That is something most users of this site know in a matter of mere months. I probably will work on this post a little slowly actually. I do not want to use all of my time making the post unless you all want to. Do you all want to, or do you want me to just move to something a little more fun? Because it's up to you all. Do you all want me to... Let's just do a short poll for now, okay? Or maybe just tell me in the chat. Just tell me in the chat. Do you all want me to move on to something a little more active. So to get the lurkers to just participate in audio, don't mind me just start working on this little article. This is an article that I will have to make no mistake about it, but it's just a matter of should I do it on stream? And are you keen to see it being written on stream? Or are you more keen to do something else together? Right now, I've already yapped my main topic, and what I'm doing right now is just basically putting the yap I have into Word format so I can post it. That's one if Kitsune, okay? As more of you give feedback, I will keep writing, but you all can give your feedback. I'm still reading the chat, by the way, and I will also try to dictate what to write. You don't mind either way. The only problem is that sometimes when I type, I get a bit locked in. But I am still reading chat. I am still reading the chat. So you don't have to worry about that. But at times when I have something I need to write long form, I will get a bit quiet. And that, I think that can be a bit of a problem for some lurkers who like me to be a bit loud. Oh, by the way, lurkers. I don't know if let's just change topic a little bit. I don't know if any of you remember me saying this, but some of you probably do. But I am making a Seiso-chan. I am designing a Seiso-chan. So we have the Lurker-chan. We're gonna have a Seiso-chan soon. I already have a general idea. I'm just basically refining the design a little bit. Lurker-chan is... Oh, Panga, you don't know about Lurker-chan, do you? You don't know about Lurker-chan, do you? I have an idea. I will tease it a little bit maybe on the social medias. Oh, Paunia, okay, I'm going to show you. I call all of you lurkers. Paunia, you know that, right? I call all of you lurkers, right? But here's the thing. I have decided to basically... Where is it? Hold on, give me a second. I'm looking for my image. I'm looking through the image folder for a moment, so give me a moment. Lurker. There we go. Put it here. I have decided to give you all an avatar. So all of you lurkers, especially the ones that post that ban something, they are assigned this avatar. So this is you. This is literally you. Just so you know, this is literally you. Yeah, this is literally you all. That's Yap. As you see, Zero is posting a lot of the React image. You might be wondering sometimes who she is. That's you. I'm gonna make a Seiso-chan. I'm almost done. Very clear idea in my head. Largely almost done. I just need to make a I just need to make a bit of what is this called? What is this called again? A sample sheet? A sample sheet, yes. I'm just gonna make another sample sheet like this. And I should be done. No, I'm not. No, I have something else in mind. I have something clearly in mind. You will know when you see. You will know what my inspiration is when you see her. And this purse. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Oh. I know. I remember that post you're referring to. Kersha made some very interesting comments. Very, very interesting comments. About a specific form of substance. Oh. Oh well. We will continue the chat right now. Just keep chatting. I just have to keep writing this. These only most users of this site know in a matter of mere months. High volume of comments are usually in direct conflict with positive vibes. So that's the first part. Vague mean and mild mean. Ooh. Didn't you realize, Situ Satro? In the Western countries, politics is now the team sports of Westerners. Everything has to be political nowadays. And this is coming from me. This is coming from me. And I post a lot of politics. But this is still coming from me. Oh, I haven't shown you this, did I? Let me have a look. Wispy? Let me try and open this. Nope, it doesn't work. Does it? I can't open it. Nah, you can't be serious. I can't open it. What do you mean I can't open it on Brave? What do you mean I can't open it on Brave? Alright, I'll do this way. I'm not gonna make the post, but y'all can see the video yourself. I'm not gonna make it as a post, but I will show you all. Why did I'll close this? Alright. Let's see if I can play it. Oh yeah, I can play it. Well, can I? Yep. Like this, are you seeing this? Is it played? Can it be played? Can it be played? You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious, you piece of trash website. Nikita Bier, you are ruining X just like how Neo Mohan is ruining YouTube. I cannot believe you. You're ruining X like how you're ruining. They ruined preview. Yes. I cannot preview a video now. It was not a problem back then. Let's try one more time. Nope. Nope. Of course. Nope. They disable preview. What the hell? They completely disable preview. Oh my god. You are horrible. You are horrible, you piece of trash. Nikita, it's already bad enough that you're nerfing everyone's algorithm, but don't remove things like this. This is disgusting. How else am I going to access this? How else am I going to do this? Is there some other way I can do this? I'm not sure, is it? I don't want to have to open a Windows Media Player. That's too much work. It's way too much work. Let me see, how do I do this? Let me see, how do I do this? Wait, let me have a look. Let me see. Let me see. Not web contents.
Have you
Okay. Let me see if I can do this. It's just for a while, so why not? Alright. It is what it is, I have to use this method. Here's why I have to use this method.
Have you tried band milk yet? Oh, you haven't? That's tragic. It's the creamiest thing to ever slide out of Ms. Bandman. One sip and your cells start clapping? I'm serious. It floods you with potassium, calcium, the kind that builds bones so dense you'd set off airport scanners.
That is literally you all.
Have you tried band milk yet? Oh, you haven't? That's tragic. It's the creamiest thing to ever slide out of Ms. Bandman. One sip and your cells start clapping? I'm serious. It floods you with potassium, calcium, the kind that builds bones so dense you'd set off airport scanners.
Okay, enough. Enough! I hope you were entertained. I hope you are all entertained. That's enough. I hope you all were entertained. At my expense. Alright, now let's see. High volume comments are usually in direct conflict with positive vibes. What is the what becomes an even punchline to all of this? Nikita even admits that you could have the perfect post that ticks all the boxes on his arbitrary quality list, and if you commit the unthinkable crime of posting multiple times in a day, it was still your high quality post will mean absolutely nothing. Will mean absolutely nothing because you will get its reach throttled and crippled anyway. Why? There is now an algorithmic cooldown on every account that prevents anyone from making spontaneous posts, because doing so is now deemed spammy behavior. Making spontaneous posts or just more than a maximum of roughly 5 posts a day. Because doing so is now deemed spammy, and so you get struck with the reach plummet, with the reach cripple. No wonder her life became so big. Yes, her life became so big because of that. Why does she sound like the girl that Hajime? She would make you play an RPG Maker game, off-brand game with the most effed up text and giggle every time you make a disgusted face. That is so silly. Okay. Oh my goodness, voice sounds breathable enough. Why are you all like this, Lakers? Do you realize you're talking about yourselves? Do you realize you're all talking about yourselves? Do you all realize that? Yes, literally you. Yeah, literally you. Well, it's important to be able to compliment yourself. Alright, finish the first topic. At this point, why even call it a social media when the most important part of it, the social part, is rendered almost entirely useless? Always love yourself, ban mean them. Oh no, everyone is. Damn, you look good, Kitsune. That's the fun. We ain't no lappers except me, maybe. They look good as well. Everyone looks good. Okay. That really changed and became very, very odd. But yeah, we're gonna have to make a whole bunch of different posts. Oh yeah, we're good. One more topic. That is right. One more topic I haven't done. This post will wait for later. This post can wait for later. There's still one more topic, isn't it? It's from the title of the stream. And that's our talk about YouTubers. This will have to wait. I'll make the post another time. But we're gonna talk about YouTubers, aren't we? We're gonna be talking about YouTubers. Wow, this... I really hate... I hate this Nikitia Bier guy. He is completely insane. He is destroying the website. It's not even a joke at this point. He's destroying the freaking website. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this. What a horrible, horrible, terrible head of product. You already destroyed Facebook. You destroyed your TBH. You destroyed your gas. And now you want to destroy X. Come on. Spare us all the agony of your management. But anyway, it all started with this. Okay? It all started with this. It was a joke. It was a joke post. Okay? It started as a joke post. Let me screen up. It started as a joke post. So went to a con this weekend. There was no VTuber that I think I've been lied to. It was meant to be a joke, okay? So Fifi made a post about this. If you want to be invited to that, you need to put an upside down sticker on your model on the front of your con badge. However, if the person invited you doesn't have this on their badge, that's a red flag. They also need to have a Master Chief sticker on the back. I don't know what the hell that is. It's too specific to be a joke. Let's just put it that way. Far too specific to be a joke. You'd have to be a masterful troll for it to actually be a joke. This is too specific. Here's a bit of a hint for many of you lurkers. If something seems a little too specific, despite them calling it a joke, it's usually not a joke, but they're using joke as a defense because people find out that it's the truth and they don't like it is a bit of a defense mechanism. Okay? So it got a pretty harsh criticism. Fifi's post, follow-up shared, and this is what this person say. As if we needed any more proof that Western VTubers are just failed stars that want an easy in. VTubers should have been gatekept much better and harder. Yet another thing ruined by off-brands because some predatory women saw an easy bag. It's a joke, by the way, but okay, fine. If you want to believe it's a joke, fine, it's a joke. I have no reason to think it's not a joke unless there's evidence to prove that it isn't, okay? Let's leave it at that. Of course, this is what people was going on. This is what everyone has been accusing people of being very iDubbbz-like over this whole incident. She to my understanding, maybe I'm being lenient, maybe I'm being soft, maybe I'm being a bit of a fence sitter, a milquetoast fence sitter. But I think, personally, that Pippa is just defending an acquaintance that she's friendly with. Who wouldn't? Honestly, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't in that position, honestly? Over that post is a joke, by the way. Just so you know, this was before Fifi posted this one. So people just treated it as... Yeah. So, I don't think there's anything more or less to it. Pippa just defended someone whom she's friendly with. And people, let's be fair here. Let's be very, very fair here. If one of your friends was being harassed online, would you run to their defense? At the first instance. Would you or would you not? It doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to mean that Pippa is betraying VTuber fans. It's not about that. She was awfully quiet when, oh boy. Groupies. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. I think in a vacuum, what Pippa did here was not that objectionable. I think the subsequent reply from Fifi is the source of the bigger problem, the bigger debate, the bigger discourse. So, if Fifi just ended at this, okay? If Fifi ended at this, and Pippa just posted this, okay, fine. End of story. A friend is defending another friend from being harshly attacked by another person. Fair enough, okay? Fair enough. But here's the problem. Fifi did not keep her mouth shut. She posted this. What I find funny is people accusing YouTubers of invading the VTuber scene when myself and Melody have been VTubers longer than Hololive Aeon has existed. Half true. Half true. Melody has been streaming using her virtual avatar longer than the debut of Hololive Aeon. But you, Fifi, only came out after Hololive Aeon as a VTuber. So half true. This shoujo wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Melody, a YouTuber. I don't get what point you're trying to make here. Are you trying to say that Melody is the reason why one of the most destructive VTuber agencies that has ever imploded, the Enron of VTuber agencies, exist? Are you saying it's because of Melody? In other words, we should be blaming Melody. Is that what you're trying to imply, Fifi? We will continue. I have a lot of things to say. Okay? See you, Panya. On YouTube, if it wasn't for her, most indie VTubers wouldn't exist. Okay, here's where... This is the biggest part that I have problem with. Okay? This is the biggest part I have problem with. I made two replies. This is my first reply. Okay? This is my milquetoast fence sitter reply. Here's how I usually approach most posts. I will go for the most easily, and I will address the most easily understood parts of a post, the most general parts of a post, and as I continue to mull over what they have said, I will keep adding I will keep adding to it and be more specific. This might just be me, but I do not think people should be particularly upset at YouTubers as a subset of VTubers exist. They indeed always will exist. That is my first point, but I made a big asterisk. However, I understand quite strongly that YouTubers should not be the standard mode for many VTubers should emulate or treat as the default or the model VTuber. Unfortunately, in my observation, many VTubers, not necessarily most, but many, especially on the Western side, they see those like Melody and they say, this is the typical successful VTuber and I should be like her to be a successful VTuber. In that regard, it's easy to understand why many VTuber fans since Kizuna Ai Kaguya Luna days, heck even Natsumi Moe days, see this as a disappointing shift. People mistakenly treated the subset YouTuber as the default VTuber. And this one is all just a little bit of saying just don't attack and harass and dogpile people. That is my first part. That is the first part. This is my second part. This is a follow-up to the VTuber versus IRL thing. This is a follow-up to the VTuber versus IRL. I just want to rehash this because again it's another important point to make. Are you actually a VTuber at that point in time when you do things like this? So this was what I say. Just to add to this, my entire opinion is indeed on the assumption that we are talking purely virtual avatar stuff, not blatant IRL. Say what you want about Melody, at least she keeps it virtual. If I recall correctly. As far as my knowledge will extend, I do not watch Melody. The only time I actually kind of watched Melody was when Lost Paws had a collab with Melody, Silverville, and Iron Mouse doing the voice acting for the Doki Doki Literature Club. That was about it. I'm sure many of you know my opinion on the whole showing your IRL as a supposed VTuber proposition. I will say that if you're claiming you are a VTuber or even a YouTuber, but you post IRL content on yourself habitually and even IRL not safe for work, please be honest to yourself and to everyone else. Are you really a VTuber or just another streamer with a virtual avatar at that point? I mean, I don't know a lot about Fansly, but from my understanding, Fansly is basically OnlyFans. A different form of OnlyFans predominantly for virtual things. And I made one more follow-up reply, directly to Fifi this time. And this was me being even more specific in my personal gripe. I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that most indie VTubers wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Melody or YouTubers. Most indie VTubers, in all honesty, got inspired by Coco, debuted mid-2019 first. She broke the barrier between JP and EN VTubing. Gura arguably was the one to push it further and open the floodgates. If anything, it was Coco that enabled the environment and Gura that capitalized on it and made EN VTubing big. And of course, if we want to go even earlier, Natsumi Moe and a few others are even earlier pioneers. Melody was a very specific gimmick back then and still is. Of course, it also can't be denied that she was a trailblazer back then. She, however, in my opinion, by herself, will at most only create a strong niche in the EN VTubing sphere, and it would not And she was definitely not the one who made it properly boom. That was Coco and Gora. And let's not just forget, not just Melody. There's still Iron Mars, there's still Nianas, there's still Silverveil. Those other names contributed strongly to the Western VTubing side. I do not know why I will not understand a VTuber, a self-proclaimed self-fashioned VTuber showing their IRL face habitually, posting not safe for works of themselves in real life habitually. They are not VTubers to me. If there's one thing I will be hardline about, if there's one thing I will be quote-unquote extreme about, is that I do not view those individuals as VTubers. They can have their precious little VTuber avatars, but I will not view them as VTubers. I will call them what they are. A streamer with a virtual avatar. That's it. That's my polite description of them. I could go ruder. People like Banana Juju have gone ruder. People like Shondo have gone ruder. But I'll settle for that. June is off to a great start, isn't it, Lucas? June is definitely off to a really good start. Well, let's just, my phone's fully charged. Nice. Done. Okay. Alright. Now, I will give you all another break time. What I'm gonna do is, for now, we still have 1.5 hours of stream time. 1.5 hours of stream time. So, I will continue my Nikitia Bier article in my own time. I can do the research on the side. I can do more research on the side. And I don't have to post it today. I could post it tomorrow. I'm just going to take it slow. I want to make sure I've got all the information precisely how I want them to, and all my opinions precisely how I want to express them. So for now, I'm going to take a short break. And we'll come back. We're going to unwind. Because we're going to unwind a little bit, okay? We're going to unwind a little bit, have a little bit of fun, even if it's at my expense. But I'll be back in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, let me open a poll. I want to do a little bit of a gaming session now, okay? Let's see. You all can decide, okay? Two TF2 when wins meet. What's one more game that we can play? Let me see. What's one more game that I can add to the list? Headliners, yeah. Zero, if you want to play Headliners, you better vote again, okay? I will put it at 5 minutes. Kesha Fanny is correct. Like I said, arguing over Luminara is more important. But I'll talk to you back later.